think I need to turn, I always figure this out as I go. Let's turn off this one, the flood of light. Let me go turn off this one. Hello, my friends. Hot mess mama. I don't ever understand this. The little flyaways that makes you look like when you, it looks so pretty like out and about, like, oh, look how pretty. But then when you get up close, you look like a mad woman with your hair everywhere. So today, I got a package. I'm very excited. It just looks very, I want to say ambiguous. Let's see, where is it at? And it will say when it sits out there, perishable. Can't even do that right. Okay. Perishable. And of course, it was sitting on my mailbox in the sun, perishable. So I just made the purchase. You know, I've grown my own, growed. I don't know, it's been a long day. My own kombucha. And I love listening to Donna with Cultured Food Life. I'm not going to even try to say her name right at all. And I love listening to her podcast. In fact, I'm listening to a book from a guy that she had on there about one of the, I'm so not knowledgeable in this and everything else. But anyways, so here I am today. On a Thursday at 2 o'clock. And why am I here at Thursday at 2 o'clock? Because my kid got sick and I left school. And I'm counting down the days, my friends. I'm counting down the days. I love my students, but having to be the one to teach them what I have to teach them is no bueno. It's just no bueno. So anyways, I have been looking at, so as you know, my daughter has a lot of food sensitivity issues. We have found so much out. I know, it's like one of the few times in life that she has dysautonomic function, and we're trying to figure out why. So this is what we've learned. We have done so many trips to Miami, going to specialists down there. We are seeing immunologists of why the dysautonomic function has happened, and there is a good chance it's mold related. I'm counting down the school days too, but as a student, as the teacher, I'm counting down the school days. In fact, all of us teachers are counting down the school days. So today I was in giving a test today. So it's actually one of my last graded test for the year, which is nice. But then we have testing. I don't really care for all that, but we have testing that we have to do, and it's the last year, and it counts. And so I was in there, and I got a phone call that and not lose you. I was losing you before. I had a phone call. And I got a phone call from the nurse that my daughter was having an episode and she couldn't walk and she was stumbling and running into things and she was groggy and throwing up and her heart rate, I can't remember what she said her heart rate was. So I had to go get her from school today. And what's nice though is we've been needing to do a bunch of blood work I don't know, I could just sit here and talk about this the whole time. And you probably have already clicked out because I'm 4 minutes in and I haven't told you anything that I said I was going to do, which is the sourdough starter. But of course, oh, thank you, babies. So it's been hard doing videos. I found it actually harder to do videos in this house because the house is very loud. It's much louder than the old house. No, you're going to turn that off. Go out there and pick mulberries. What did you say? I'm so sorry that you both are dealing with this misery. It's rough. And I mean, I'm much more thankful to be the parent than her to have to deal with what she's dealing with. So I had to go get her. And one of the things we're running into is the immunology. We're doing all this tests like, could mold have started it? What's the toxicity of things? And so we have all of this just blood work to figure out why it's happening, what it is. And the arrhythmia doctor is like, okay, but we can go in and ablaze her nerve. And I'm kind of like, oh, and it would be all done and she's going to be a whole better human being with it. Okay. Well, I have my gallbladder out. And as much as that solved things, I then learned so much that said, I wish I would have done XYZ, LMNOP, I don't know, LMNOP, and figured that out before I had them cut my gallbladder out. I'm doing a live video.
If we go to the park.
Yeah. You gonna take them?
Yeah.
Call them. Oh, she's down there.
Leona May.
Thank you for not calling her full name. What? Nothing. Leona! You're gonna have to go down there. She might be in the bathroom. Nobody can see you. Yeah, I'm sorry. This is slow. So they got to figure out what's going on. And so we do a lot of time in the blood work. So I've been kind of having a hard time figuring out how am I going to catch her after an episode being at work to get her to the lab, because she cannot go to the lab by herself because she is not 18 yet. And today she had a bad one that I was able to leave work and I had to go collect her anyway. So we went and did the lab work.
Mom, can I go with the
Yep. Mm-hmm. I'm going to have the house to myself. I don't know what to think. So in doing that, we're dealing with that. So what we found out with all of her stomach issues is she has IBS. And it was so crazy because the IBS food map, she already eats that way. It works out really perfect. She eats that way. But one of the things we found is sourdough bread is the best. And I've tried a couple times making starter, blah, blah, blah. I cannot talk today. It has been so long, I guess, since I've done a video. So I found out that sourdough bread. You guys, I'm so sorry. This is what it really is like. There's no brain space left after teaching everybody else's kids. Yeah, I feel so bad. I'm sorry. I'm very all over the place. So I got the sourdough bread. And it works for her. So I wanted to start making sourdough. I tried to make my own starter. It didn't work. So this is what I got from Cultured Food Life. I went online and I ordered, I'll show you what I got. So I ordered the sourdough. And it came with starter. Thanks, Lori. You're the best. It came with starter. And it came with a book. So I'm going to go through and do this. I also picked up the Probiotic. This is to help when you're growing probiotics. It doesn't help you. It helps the probiotics. This is not my supplement, but my probiotic supplement. And I bought, let me grab it. I bought this one. This is the, what is this? This is the LR, it's Lactobacillus reductor, I don't know, whatever it is. It's one of the most powerful strategies, putting this in your gut for your health, for both physically and mentally. This is to make yogurt. I thought I was going to make yogurt today, but there's no milk. So that might be later on today. I might come back on and do another video. That won't be as long-winded as this one. So sorry about that. I should probably do this better, but whatever. It is what it is. This is how it's going to be today. See, I say this, I'm going to do this, and then I just want to be like, you guys, I bought the coolest new thing. You might have seen it on Instagram. I got some roller skates, and I have to tell you, I roller skated for 45 minutes yesterday, and my heart rate was 136. That was the best workout I've had in forever. I'm relearning I have muscles that I forgot all about. But besides that, we're here to make this, right? Okay, so it's really cool. It feels like a pillow. It's like all expanded, so I'm sure that's the gases that's in it. And I've got a clean jar. And so this is what it says. This is what it says. This is how to make sourdough bread. It's not a very big book, so see, this is like the topics it hits is feeding your starter. I can't see real well. Let me put my glasses on. How often do I feed it? Feeding your starter once a week. Feeding your starter before making bread. Reviving a neglected starter is all in here. But I love this. Look how great the pictures look with the steps. And then it says overnight sourdough bread. So there's her good recipe. this is what you get when you get the sourdough bread. So let's go ahead and make this. 10 minutes in. Oh my goodness, I'm going to have to go back and remake this video for the people that just want to know. But the rest of you I love, so it doesn't matter. All right, so it says feed it right away. So that it doesn't die of lack of food. It says add your contents to a package if this is the first time you're feeding it, or a 1/4 cup of starter into your glass jar with a lid. So I have a quart glass. When I read it, it only takes up to 1.5 cups, which is 2 cups would be half the jar. So I figured that'd be good. All right, it says, all right, so I have to add that to my container. And I probably need a knife or scissors. I did not come prepared. I'm failing my option to be Martha Stewart today. Let's see. And I'm gonna have to go with the knife. All right. I like the scissors better. I usually have 4 or 5 pairs of scissors. I literally just cut a rotisserie chicken with my scissors. So we're not gonna put that in my... Oh, it smells very, yeasty. As in... Oh, come on. Oh, I'm making a mess. This is not the right tool. What is the right tool today? I'm gonna probably find all the wrong tools. Let's see if this is the right tool. This might be a better tool. All right, so the first thing I noticed is it's not as expanded. You never were Martha Stewart, but that's what we adore about you. I wanted to watch Martha. I know. But there's always those aspects. As a little girl, I always wanted to be Martha Stewart. And then when she went to prison and they did the whole documentary about that whole experience, I was like, oh my goodness, she's even cooler now than before. Okay. So here I go. I opened it up. I don't know why I just had the urge. I wanted to taste it, but I don't think I want to taste it. Okie dokie. I feel like I should really have cut this. Let's get another knife. I just feel like anymore, everybody's attention tolerance is about all of 2 minutes. So now I'm cutting it across because I don't want it to get all over the flappy flap and then not be in the jar, the jarry jar at all. That wouldn't be good, right? I feel like I don't want to waste a single bit. I think it's I don't know. Did I ever tell you, I spent a lot of time with my grandparents. I was with my grandparents off and on until I was 8, with my mom, too. And they definitely grew up with some depression-era tendencies. So I have this whole, waste not, want not, which, with the cost of inflation, could be a very good thing. But I'm always so scared to waste things. Okay. So I'm squeezing it out. Whew. If you came here for a short video on this, I am not your video. You are just taking a journey. If you're looking for the quick how-to, not your video. This is real life. Might want to speed me up. I'm tired and slow. It's like making videos brand new again. So I'm so scared to waste this anyways. I don't know. I want to make a whole, oh, maybe if I did it this way. So we've been just having a hard time. It's been amazing being in the school system and seeing it for what it is. There's a lot of amazing epiphanies that I just can't wait to show you and share, not show you, but share with you once school gets out. It's just too much to manage right now. Maybe if I did it like this. I don't know. There's something about it. I just have to have all of it out. I just have to have all of it out. Oh, yeah. What would an engineer do? This right here. Makeshift the dang thing. But anyways, I'm trying to get back being healthy and taking care of myself. And so one of the methods I have is to go into making bread. I don't know what it is, because the reality is processed bread is very cheap. I mean, seriously, it's $1 at Walmart. But actually, I was sitting down to eat my feast, and the notice that you popped in. And I don't know what it is, but there's this aspect of just, I should be, and the least to make your own bread. And it's not a very good show, but there was a show or a movie I watched. It's not the most high quality one. It was one of those, I was sick, and you know, you watch weird stuff when you're sick. But it was the one gal, I think Amy, whatever her name is, played, and she was a tour guide for a mansion, and the ghost from the mansion drove her up the wall because she didn't like the way she was treating her house, which I kind of find funny. So I don't know, I think I did a good job. How much I got out of it. Anyways, in the movie that kind of stuck to me, of all the things that stuck to me, it's a really filthy movie. I'm just putting it out there. Was she was like, I don't understand, you know, make your own bread. It's an easy thing to do, and it's a very relaxing thing to do, and it's the least you can do. And I don't know, that kind of keeps sticking to me. Okay, so I did this part. I did make sure I had all the ingredients, not being perfect, but it says add flour. So number 2. So that's step 1. That took me 6 minutes. Step 2 said add a half a cup of flour. This is the perfect video that if you want to do it with me, here it is. Of that, what would an engineer do? Yeah, I did it. I had to get every bit of it out. I had to tell you. Oh, we'll talk later on it. Add half a cup of flour. See note below, and half a cup of water. So it says note. I'm not reading the whole book to you, but I'm going to read, you know, the first page because that's what I have to do right now. It says, note, flours you can use. I feed my starter wheat Montana white all-purpose flour. You can feed your starter whole wheat flour, which contains many minerals, but always look for high protein content in your flour. Ideally, ooh, I got some of that on my finger, and it's like all crusted up. It's kind of cool. Side note, a little ADHD squirrel action going on in my brain. Ideally, your flour should have 11 to 18% content to make the best bread with the highest rise. The flour we use is one of the highest protein unbleached white flour available. You can also use bread flour or a good quality unbleached white flour. White wheat flour or rye, which is wonderful too. I don't always have a good reaction with rye, just saying, since I was like 16. But anyways, I digress. I know you needed to know that. Sorry. You'll need to use a flour that does not add chemicals or one that is bleached. Otherwise, your starter might not get bubbly. Bread flour is what is most commonly used by bread makers because of the high protein content of flour. So I don't have bread flour. I don't have rye. But maybe. Oh, that doesn't work. I have wheat flour. It looks white to me. I don't understand. It looks really white to me. I'm sorry it's dark, but otherwise you're blinded by the light. I'm having a whole contemplation because I've been reading, I've been listening to the book about the gut health that she mentioned, and which is why I bought this one, LR Superfood starter. But I'm like starting to contemplate, like, everything is in plastic and how bad that is for you. Not to get you started there, but just telling you what I've been debating on. Okay, so what does it say? I need half a cup of flour. This is going to totally make a mess. All right, wait, it says stir well and it says add half a cup of flour and half a cup of water. Stir until well combined and seal with a lid. Okay, dokie. I am going to make a mess because that's who I am. Oh, I don't need to set that way. All right, I think I'm gonna have to use the quarter cup because, well, my half cup's dirty. The house is a mess. The house is a mess. It's just survival mode. Completely survival mode. I will tell you that I've come to terms in the last week or so that I have not appreciated the fact that I didn't have to work. Over the last few years, I've been very discontent, overwhelmed, which I think the conditions of life definitely, I'm not patting it down. You can't see. I'm legit scooping it. Which the conditions of life, I think, are fair to warrant that. But I forgot a special ingredient to my terms of life right then. Okay, so there's half. I was not required to work. My husband goes to work every day, and he works very hard. And I'm not required to work. And not having to work is such a blessing. And here's the thing. I thought not having to work meant you didn't like, almost like you didn't like to work. I love to work. But what it does to the family dynamics, how much the family dynamics, and I'm not judging by any means who has to work or whatever, but I'm gonna have to use that one. Maybe. I never know where my stuff is. Yep, I never know. And I'm just hitting a point, and like it literally has taken me working all year, 30 weeks, pushing through misery. I don't have chlorinated water. I don't have well water. I have well treated water. Well, water that's treated, all right. So I assume don't make anything hot because you're going to kill bacteria. I did that one quite perfect. Thank you. You inspired me to get back to making my sourdough. Thank you. A long chat of randomness. All right, so I'm going to use, that doesn't look right, does it? Yeah, I'm not the best. Not here making it look perfect. So anyways, being at work and just living that other life, even if it's for this 1 year, has been really good to remind me of my blessings. And last year, I worked until November. It got really difficult and I left. I didn't stick it out. And I don't think it mattered that I didn't stick it out. I think this year was the year because I work with wonderful people. I love the people I work with. I love being around people. It really, it's bubbling immediately. Can you see it? Oh, you probably can't see it. It's like immediately bubbling. It's just like so bubbly already. I don't even know how. Do you think I can turn it around? I can. So look. Do you see it? There's bubbles. That's what it looks like. I should have showed you before. Like, it immediately is bubbly. Look. Let's see. Bubble mania. I feel like if I'm quiet, then you'll see it better. I feel like if I'm quiet, the thing will stay focused. Sorry. I'm so sorry. Sorry. There you go. See the bubbles coming out? That is so cool. I do have, I will show you this. This is a thing of peppers I picked. It's purple because the peppers are purple. And I'm trying to ferment them. I don't think it's doing a very good job. I haven't figured that part out. I so want to show it to y'all, but then I'd forget what I'm doing. And that's what I do all the time. We have chickens right now. We're doing some meat chickens. A friend of ours has come and we've partnered up with. And he's trying to raise them organically, and it has been a real eye-opening learning experience because they're expensive for him. And he's been watching Joe Saladin and really getting into that. So that's been really cool. So my goal here is to make sourdough bread. every night. Maybe. I got lots of little goals going on right now. And to have this as an option for my family and to move away. Somebody's coming. One of my little kids' head sticks up. And to give this as an option to move towards our own food. And one of the things that we were talking to with the immunologist is to get away from the organics. Our bodies aren't working well. And it was just crazy because getting to talk to her, like, this is what I study all the time. All right, so that was number 3. Stir until well combined and seal with a, well, I haven't finished. Number 3, yep. Seal with a lid. One of my handy dandy, these are probably my most favorite invention ever, are these little lids for the mason jars. This actually helps, I want to say, turn my mason jars into leftover holding machines. But I did just go buy like a bunch of those like plastic bowls, serving stuff for my lunches. I don't know, I probably shouldn't have, but I did. All right, it says you should now have, oh, you are not, really, you're gonna get water? You didn't stay very.
Mom started bleeding, so we came back.
Oh, she did? Where's she bleeding at? Did you fall?
She wouldn't keep her shoes on right.
You wouldn't wear your shoes right? What were you wearing, your Crocs?
No, I was wearing my tennis shoes, then I put them on right. No, because she just slides her foot into it all the time.
No, you're gonna ruin your tennis shoes. Those are really good tennis shoes.
And I was on the thing that goes around, and then I fell, and then I got it, one of the like spiky things.
Oh, okay. Sorry. All right. So it says, all right, so let's see. Stir well and combine, seal with lid. Did. You should now have about 1 1/4 cups of starter. It looks like it. Oh, I can't tell. It's like about here. Yeah, it's like right here. You can see it right there. So that's the 1 cup mark. Right there, the 1 cup mark. It says let it sit on your counter for 8 to 12 hours. If it is bubbly on top and on the sides of the jar, it is ready to use. If it does not appear bubbly, measure out 1/4 cup of starter and discard the rest. Feed the 1/4 cup of starter another 1/2 cup of flour and 1/2 cup of water. Let it sit another 8 to 12 hours on your counter and see if it gets bubbly. This should only take up to a day or 2. Once it's bubbly, it's ready to make bread. Measure out the amount of starter and use it in the recipe. The remaining starter is what you will use for your next batch. Discard all but 1/4 of a cup of starter and add 1/2 cup of flour and 1/2 cup of water to the starter. Mix well, then put it in your fridge until you're ready to use it to make more bread. That's it. So we will see about this. See how it goes. I'll try to check in soon. It says, how often do you feed it? It says, once your starter dough is in the fridge, the cold temperature will slow it down. However, it still needs to be fed regularly. It won't just sit for months on end like a packet of commercially dried yeast. You will need to feed your starter at least once a week in the refrigerator. And if you keep it on the counter, it needs to be fed twice a day. It simply needs to be fed more flour and water. This is your starter food. If it runs out of food, it eventually dies. So I think we're going to play it safe. I can tell you just reading that. When this is ready, what I'll probably do is take 1/2 cup and put it on the counter and take 1/2 cup and put it in the refrigerator. And then that way, that would be better just in case I kill the one on the counter, because that would make sense. Twice a day is a lot. I probably can't do that working. If feeding your starter once a week, if you're not wanting to make bread, but are simply feeding your starter its weekly meal, take it out of the fridge and measure out 1/4 cup. Discard the rest or use it in another recipe. Feed your starter 1/2 cup of flour, 1/2 cup of water. Seems to be the major theme there, right? 1/2 cup of water, 1/2 cup of flour. Then put the lid back on the jar and put it in the fridge. Feeding your starter before you make bread. When making bread, your starter should be bubbly and at room temperature. Take your starter out of the fridge and measure out 1/4 cup. Discard the rest. What? Feed your starter 1/2 cup of flour and 1/2 cup of water and mix well. Leave it on. Oh, so if you pull it out of the fridge, you can't just pull it out of the fridge and make bread. It looks like you have to pull it out of the fridge like a day before you plan to use it. Leave it on the counter 8 to 12 hours or until bubbly. Once it's bubbly, measure out the amount of starter called in your recipe. The starter that is left in the jar will be about 1/4 cup, and it needs to be fed again. You are kind of seeming high maintenance a lot. That's all right. I'm in this. I'm in it. I'm in it. Mix well, then place it in the fridge until you feed it again a week later. Or make another loaf. Feed your starter and give it at least 8 to 12 hours on your countertop to ferment until it looks bubbly, especially on the sides of the jar. So it can't just be bubbly in the middle, it has to be bubbly all around. Before you use it to make your bread. Reviving and neglected. I said I was only reading one page, but apparently I'm reading 2. Reviving a neglected starter. If your sourdough starter has sat in the refrigerator for more than a week, you can usually revive it. You will probably have to feed it for 2 to 3 days on your counter, twice a day, morning and night. Oh, I guess you could get into the rhythm of like if I woke up when I wake up at 6, I could do this, and when I come home at night, I could do this. That's, I could probably make it work, even if I'm working. To get it up to snuff. The layer of liquid on the surface will probably be very dark, called a hooch, making it look as if the starter may have gone bad. But this may not be the case. The only way to know is to give it more food and see how it does. After feeding the starter twice a day for 2 to 3 days, your starter should become strong and healthy. You should see bubbles everywhere, and it will have a nice aroma. Once this happens, it should be ready to make bread again, or just put your starter back in the fridge and go back to feeding it once a week. All right, so I do want to tell you, I thought I left it in, I did. So the starter that I bought, I got it today. Today's the 21st. I bought it the 18th, so that was Monday. I bought it Monday. This cost me $24. The bag of starter and the book was $24. Hey, Erica. And then I will come back on another time and make, super slow 30 minutes to make this. But I will make yogurt. The yogurt starter cost me $21.50. And the thing about it is, you get, you only need one of these packets. I have Revived starter that had a very, very dark hooch. It's very resilient. Yay, because I've never gotten mine going. You get 4 packets in here. And then I think each packet will do 1 quart of yogurt. And then you could do 2 or 3 times. You can take some of that yogurt and make another one. So for $21, I have, of course, my own milk and everything else. I'm going to get 12 quarts of this very good for you, the bacteria you need in your life. But then, of course, I spent $28, but you'll need 3 tablespoons of this. So I assume, like, this will do a lot. I won't have to reorder this again for a while. So that's what I got. So it came to a total of $74.18. But because I spent over, I think it was $65, there's no shipping. So I only spent $74.18 for what I got. So I look forward to this. It really does have bubbles in there, which is kind of cool. Not a lot of bubbles, just like, the little air coming open. And one of these times I'll get on here and we'll make some bread together. It will be a long-winded thing. So I'm glad you stopped by to see me. I know it's been forever. I find it interesting, but I don't know if I could keep it up. It does seem high maintenance. I know, right? I need to do as well. I recently diagnosed with gastroparesis and got to change my diet. If you want to make bread same day with starter from the fridge, you can proof it in the oven for about an hour. Good to know. Yeah, I'm definitely trying to do better about just eating well and eating to benefit our health. My garden is going. I really need to get peas in the ground, but I just haven't found the time for that. Today probably would have been a good day since I can't mentally think. Maybe my back would work. I'm trying to take care of myself better in different ways. One of them is finding a way to exercise and to maintain my balance and my core muscles. And to do that, I've decided to take up roller skating. I'm loving every bit of it. Apparently, it's the fastest growing fitness, whatever, right now, thanks to social media. But I decided one of the things I did is I use iTrack Bites, which is now Healthy Eye. And I've always been doing Weight Watcher points. And as I'm reading about the fact of like the low fat phenomenon is actually not good for you. And I know high fiber is very good for me and it helps feed my gut flora and it always has made me well. So I like that. But I feel like I know what would be a better choice to eat. And I've made the transition this week to go to calorie counting and not high fiber or not Weight Watchers points. Because I was using the 2002 like conquering craving method. And what I kept finding was I'd pull myself out of doing fat. But then I've had a lot of like kind of oh, wait a minute. Oh, look, I'm getting more. Oh, stop it. It's a beautiful book though. It's a short little pamphlet. Look, it's not that big. But I mean, she really did a good job. I'm going to put it up with my stuff. But what I've noticed is, like, now I'm thinking about it, I'm like, wait a minute, if my calories already count in fat, the fat amount is already in your calories because fat has calories. But then I added more points to it because there's fat there. Then it was kind of double dipping on the fat. And I was like, oh, okay, wait, that's not good. But as I'm reading about the gut health, that keto messed me up. Like my whole body took forever to recoup from doing some keto. And Weight Watchers kind of messes with me because then I start playing this numbers game of how can I get everything I want, without paying the piper. And that isn't good either. So I've decided to just go straight calories to keep myself in check of what I'm eating. It's going good. I mean, in fact, I'm eating a high vegetable, protein-oriented way. And I'm really shocked at myself. Now, a lot of times I have some dysphoria of like, what is right to eat? Is this good to eat? And what's helped me is I will just take something, like I'll take my main meal or my meat. And I'm like, okay, if we just did this in calories, this would be 5 points. If this is 5 points, that's this would okay, that seems like the right thing to eat. But except I count calories. And it's been working good. But I want my body to regulate. I want my digestive to be better. I'm not coughing, but it's there a little bit of my GERD. I'm trying to take care of my GERD. I regret taking out my gallbladder. And I want to live and eat better, and that's, outside of just my daughter can digest it with her IBS, but I know it's better for my family, and I want to be to the point that I can make sourdough-oriented, healthier versions like we used to eat now. Now, how will I do that before the end of May when I'm still working? Because I have 5 more weeks left. I don't know. I'm trying. And you'll get a lot of videos from me afterwards. And hopefully they won't be so long-winded. But you know me, I'm pretty long-winded. So I am going to talk to you later. I love you all dearly. I'm so sorry it took me so long to get back with you. And I will check back in here soon to let you know how this went. So until then,